Chapter 21. If some kilt person is lying dead in the field, find out what the closest town is to the dead corpse nobody knows nothing about. Go on down to the river with a fresh cow and break its neck. Say you didn't kill the dead corpse over the dead cow, then everything is cool, man. Okay. There has been some talk about wasting bitches what are real fine. We came up with this new deal. Trim her hair, her nails, give her a new dress, let her cry for her dad for a month, never mind the 85 relatives like her big sister and her mom and stuff like that. Fuck her and she's your wife. If she gets fat or ugly, just let her go free. Don't sell her, because you used her already, and she's a dirty used bitch. And if a man got two wives, one's a sweetheart, the other an ugly bitch, and they get kids, and the ugly bitch you, the man, don't like, gets the first son, it ain't the son's fault. The firstborn is firstborn, and unless you are the father of all the Israelites and can steal your brother's birthright, then the first son gets the most. Because we gotta have rules, and that's one. Now, you got a first son who don't do what his mom and dad tells him, and you don't like it. He goes and says he's a drunk and eats like a pig. Then you can stone him to death, which is a good thing because everyone will hear and be terrorized into mute obedience, the aim of our dictatorship tyranny. And if you impale someone on a big stick, do it in the morning and take him down before sunset. God don't like seeing that shit, especially at night. Who the fuck said this goddamn book was holy? Are you out of your fucking puny minds? Morons? I've probably mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. The only reason we think that holy books are holy is because we are illiterate. And that is the only reason. There is no other reason to think these books are holy unless you are illiterate. And since most people these days aren't illiterate, then there's no bloody excuse for believing this shit. You can fuck the bitch, and if you don't like her anymore, throw her away. That's a rule for slaves, by the way. I like it. I mean, it would be great to live in a life if you were the winners. I mean, they weren't always the winners, were they? They kind of fucked up in the, what was it, the Second World War, where all of the second-hand Jews were being murdered by the truckload, like literally hordes and hordes of them in the millions. Of course, they weren't the only ones being murdered. There were quite a few people murdered in the Second World War. And what was the war for? To make money. To sell weapons. And that was what the First World War was for as well. Of course, there were probably some issues. I mean, Hitler was an issue, but Hitler was also supported by the central bank. And the central bank made a lot of fucking money on that war and made a lot of money on every war. In fact, the central bank loves war, and that is why if you don't blow up the central bank, then you obviously love war as well. Right? Well, anyway, we got to get away from the central bank. This Federal Reserve Bank is robbing you blind. They are literally robbing you blind. You have no idea how much money you owe the Federal Reserve Bank, all because they are criminally insane pricks. And they love war. They love to see bleeding babies on the street. They find it funny to see people jumping out of towers and say, oh, that must have been a terrorist. We're fucking idiots and we like it.